So let's get into this conversation here. Jonas Knox on Fox Sports Radio. So I was looking at something. So we were talking about just revenge. Like Xavier McKinney of the Green Bay Packers is talking about how, the Lions try and embarrass people and, that's not going to happen here. And it's like, okay. Like I also heard people complaining about, what they were doing against the Cowboys because they were running hook and ladders with their offensive linemen. And my whole thought on it is like, dude, hold on. The Lions have heard enough crap from everybody for decades. I got no problem with them trying to get a little bit of revenge. And them trying to let everybody know, not your same old Lions. Because they've heard a lot of talking. There's been a lot of stuff out there when it comes to the Lions, and it comes to their organization, and how poorly run it is, and their 0-16 team, and they're all the stuff that you've heard for years and years and years, either on this network or on other. Look, I'm guilty of it too. I've taken my shots at the Lions. There's been some embarrassing performances, bad coaching hires, all that stuff. And so now the Lions are good. And in my mind, they're the best team in the NFL. I don't think anybody's close. I think you give me Detroit, Kansas City right now in the Super Bowl, I'll take Detroit all day. And that's going against Patrick Mahomes. Give me the Lions. They're the best team in football. And I think there's a significant gap between them and the next best team in the NFC. So give the Lions credit. I'm happy for them. I hope they run up the score on everybody. I hope they continue to do what they're doing, and it pisses everybody off. I got no problem with it. It is their time for revenge. But then I started thinking about this. I was just curious about this. Because you know what else we've been hearing a lot about that's gotten a lot of the, taking the brunt of a lot of the takes, when it comes to maybe not being relevant or not being the same or dying out, or listen, it's, no longer the running back position. We've been hearing that for a while now. The running back position in the NFL has been downgraded by just about everybody. They're telling you, oh, it's not as important anymore. It doesn't matter anymore. Running the football's not, it's a passing league. It's all the, they've kind of almost tried to kill off the running back. And so I was just curious because I just, wanted to just follow up on that. Somebody who grew up old school football, I grew up watching the NFC Central back in the day. I remember being a little kid, tiny, watching the NFC Central. And it was before the NFC North. And it was the Bears and the Lions and the Packers and the Vikings and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in those sweet creamsicle jerseys. Now, I remember this one year, the Bears finished a season with more rushing yards than passing yards. And they weren't all that bad. Everybody ran the football back then. Fullbacks mattered. But there's been this thing to where lately they've been trying to kill off the running back. So I looked at this and I go, okay, the Lions are getting their revenge on everybody for all the stuff that's been said about them for years now. There's been a lot of stuff said about running backs. So I was like, all right, so are running backs going to get their revenge? And so I'm looking over and I'm just kind of taking a peek and I'm like, let me look at the top 5 rushers in the league. So I look at the top 5 rushers and I'm like, all right, leading rushers at this point in the season. 4 of the top 5 have something in common. And I want to see if you can figure out what they have in common. All right. Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, Joe Mixon. Those are 4 of the top 5 rushers in the league. They've all got something in common. You know what it is? They were all told, we don't need you anymore, by their former team. All of them. Derrick Henry was told that by the Titans. Saquon Barkley was told that by the Giants. Josh Jacobs was told that by the Raiders. Joe Mixon was told that by the Cincinnati Bengals. All of them are in the top 5 in the NFL in rushing. So you're thinking, yeah, but look, somebody doesn't have to win the breakup or win the divorce. Maybe it's equal. Maybe both won it. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at their former teams. The Titans, the Giants, the Raiders, and the Bengals are all in the bottom half of the league in rushing this year, and Cincy and Vegas are in the bottom 5. Well, geez, what do you think's missing? God, I wonder what it is. What What do you think it is? I mean, I can't imagine. Gosh, why can't we run the football? I don't know. I don't know what it. Gosh, like all this, like Cincinnati's probably looking around going, God, if we could run the foot, that would help. That might help. Well, you could have. Like, and it's not like those players wanted to leave. Derrick Henry didn't want to leave Tennessee. He was just basically told, yeah, we're going in a different direction. Okay. All right. I guess you're going to do what you do. That's fine. All good. I'll go sign with Baltimore, and I'll be the home run acquisition of the offseason. Okay. You got it. Saquon Barkley wanted to be in New York with the Giants. He wanted it. Like, he had basically campaigned. It pained him to have to leave. Like, he wanted to stay there. He tried. They had conversations, the Giants. And then finally it got too late, and it's playing out on Hard Knocks. And they're like, oh, I don't know why he left. What do you mean? Like, there were opportunities for you to keep him. He wanted to stay. They didn't. No. They gave Daniel Jones a contract. They did all this. He wanted to be there. They said no. Said, all right, fine. I'll go to Philly. Also, one of the great acquisitions of the offseason. It's worked out tremendously. What about the Raiders? You know what would help a struggling quarterback? Like a struggling quarterback or a young quarterback on offense? You know what would help? A running game. Raiders are one of the worst in the league. Josh Jacobs didn't want to leave. He didn't. He, too, didn't want to leave. Like, he wanted to stay. Like, he liked it. Like, he wanted to stay. Raiders are like, whatever. All right, I guess I got to go play in Green Bay, and I guess I got to be in the top 5 in rushing at the halfway point of the year. Okay. And Green Bay's good. All right. Cincy, Joe Mixon, like, nah, listen, we're going to move on. Okay. You're also terrible at running the ball, and I'm in the top. It's like, there's nothing more appropriate than this. Like, we've been hearing for years now, running back doesn't matter. It's being phased out. It's about passing the football. And it's not like this is a one-off. It's not like there's just one player. No. 4 of the top 5 rushers in the league were told by their former team this past offseason, we don't need you anymore. And all of their former teams suck at running the ball now. It's just like, it cannot be spelled out any more obvious than it has so far. I hope it continues, just like I hope the Lions Revenge Tour continues, because I think it's hilarious.